The study of religion is not necessarily religious. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here, actually, as well. This has been kind of a long time coming. This channel is about religion, but it's not about religion in the same way as most of the people who are here talking about religion on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Grace. I'm transgender and I'm a Hindu.
When my husband and I say that we're Orthodox, people think that we're Orthodox Jews, but no, we're Orthodox Christians, and I'm really excited to tell people about this absolutely magnificent church.
I am a Reiki Master practitioner working out of the Los Angeles, Pasadena area.
There are people here who are talking about their own religions, their beliefs and their practices.
It's 5:30 a.m. and about a half hour before Fajr, so it is still possible to pray Tahajjud. Step 1, make wudu and make sure it is filled with intention.
There are people who are here to teach about religion from a clerical perspective.
I understand why people wouldn't want to wear it in airports, especially when you're going on vacation. But for me, wearing my habit is so essential to my vocation because this is what I'm called to do.
There are people here who are teaching about religion just as their personal experience.
And if you're new here, hi, my name is Sarah Malka, and on my channel, I share all facets of my Orthodox Sephardic Jewish life.
Some people are talking about the religion they used to have and why they don't have it anymore.
And today I wanted to tell the whole complete story of what it was like for me to grow up super ultra Mormon, to leave the church, to break away from everything I really had ever known, and then to move on after that.
Some people are talking about religion from the perspective of a critic. They're telling us that a religion is bad news or something, but that's not because they were part of it. They're just offering that opinion.
Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am Jen and this is Fundy Fridays, and here on my channel I talk about different aspects of Christian fundamentalism, American conservative politics, pop culture, and gay stuff.
There are people here talking about religion from a more journalistic perspective.
Full Circle would hold Sunday gatherings that began with intention setting.
Or from a historical lens.
Anyway, yeah, my audience has been strangely insistent on a religion video for some reason, so that's what I'm doing. That actually worked? Well, good. I wanted you to make a video about the Seventh-day Adventists for like over a year now. I'm actually talking about Christian Scientists today.
I'm really glad that there's so much talk about religion. I'm not saying that the people who are doing it shouldn't be doing it. I think it's great. We can all talk about what our own perspectives are on the basis of our own expertise. I haven't seen that many people talking about religion from the perspective of somebody professionally trained to study it.
We here at Religion for Breakfast are committed to improving your religious literacy. This means that we talk about religion from an academic perspective. We do not endorse any one religious view, nor do we address questions of ultimate truth, like does God really exist or what is the meaning of life? We instead study religion as a human phenomenon.
Religion for Breakfast is a channel that does this, but the perspective isn't from somebody who was trained in American religion specifically. And so that's the niche that I'm in. That's what I have to offer the world. The study of religion is not necessarily religious. You can think about this in terms of political science. If you are at all familiar with the field, some political scientists do become politicians. But if somebody goes and gets a PhD in political science, they're usually just wanting to learn about politics, how it works, to understand it better. They want to understand culture and trends and the way that people think. They want to understand how politics works. I have a similar approach to religion. I want to understand it, and I want to take a more detached perspective than somebody who's trying to advocate for religious belief or advocate against it. All of this is to say, we can think about religion and talk about religion and study religion without necessarily thinking and talking and studying what we believe and why. I am a professionally trained expert in American religion. I have an undergraduate degree and graduate degrees from non-sectarian schools. That is to say, from schools who had an approach to the study of religion that was in this vein of simply understanding rather than advocating. Now, that's not to say that I don't have beliefs myself. I do have beliefs. Everyone has beliefs. That would be weird if I didn't. But I also don't think that I would contribute much to an already saturated platform if I were to focus on that in these videos with you. Objectivity is not really a thing. We can have a certain detachment. We can try to look at things from a distance without getting too involved in what we ourselves think. But ultimately, if our goal is to understand, then there isn't really space for me to talk about what I believe personally. That doesn't really serve the goal. It's not that helpful of me to do that anyway. There are a lot of people doing it. As I said, I'm grateful to those people. I think it's great that we're having discussions like that and people can continue to have those conversations online. I just don't think that I personally am best equipped to do that. What I am best equipped to do is to present information that will help people understand. I've chosen the title, The Religistorian, to reflect my approach. First of all, I love stories. I think that stories are the best way to understand, and I've always had a penchant for storytelling. I took in a lot of stories when I was growing up. I really love novels and biographies and those kinds of things. I think people's stories are really important, and I think that stories can be the best way to understand things. This religistorian idea also reflects that I am a historian. I am professionally trained as such. But I'm a special kind of historian, a historian of religion, rather than the historians you might more commonly know. Now, I have a day job, so I know already, even though I experimented with it, that I can't keep up with the demands of the algorithm here on YouTube. I'm not going to be able to put out content once a week. I think I can do it monthly, though some months that's going to be stretching it a bit. But I still think that it's worth trying to connect to an audience that will value what I have to offer as an expert, that will be interested in just looking deeply into the history of American religion as a means of understanding America, of understanding religion, understanding ourselves, where we've been, and maybe how that contextualizes where we are now. So here's an overview of the kinds of things that you can expect on this channel, based on things that I've either already filmed or am in the process of preparing for filming right now. I have a story about how a religious group in the 19th century sought to perfect the world, and in so doing, they also thought they needed to introduce a new alphabet for the English language. Our alphabet is imperfect, of course. It's not phonetic, and you can't have perfection without a phonetic alphabet. I'll tell you the story about a journalist in the 1990s who was totally making up his stories out of whole cloth in some cases. But the stories that he told about religion were not the ones that got people concerned that he might be lying. And therefore, I've never really seen anybody talking about a major story he wrote about religious groups in Georgia who were actively competing with each other on purpose, as sort of dueling evangelistic campaign. I'll have a story about a well-known book by a beloved children's author who today we don't typically recognize was not just writing a kid's story, who was instead writing a feminist critique of the medical and religious establishments of her day and offering an alternative view, one that advocated a feminist spirituality where girls and women have the power to heal. But we don't have the context for it today, so we don't see it. I'll have a story about a faction of Northerners in the U.S. during the Civil War who believed the Union should not be fighting the Confederacy, but instead should give the South what they wanted, and how their best-known leader advocated this on the basis of the constitutional protections for religious liberty, and how that played out. But stories aren't the absolute only thing that we can talk about, even though stories are a great way to understand. Sometimes we need to talk about concepts. I have prepared a video about our national motto, In God We Trust, examining whether it's representative of American religion or something else, given that, yes, we have monotheists in America, but there's a variety of other ways that people approach religion. Zoroastrians, Wiccans, etc. And those are all things you will see here because I have already done the work to prepare them for you. At least mostly. There's some editing left to do. You'll still see it, but it may take some time. As I say, I have a day job. Keeping up with the algorithm is tough. But I have so many other stories and ideas that I want to talk to you about. Ideas like whether American football is a religion. stories about how a popular radio evangelist might have faked her own kidnapping, about how Jews secured the right to be military chaplains, answering the question of why a church decided to make a record-setting gigantic wheel of cheese to give to the US president, stories about how Puritan women secured divorces from their husbands on the basis that they weren't satisfied, a story I've only recently discovered myself about the odd connections between a breakfast cereal, not cornflakes. We're all done with Kellogg's. I mean, people have talked about Kellogg's a lot. Maybe I'll talk about Kellogg's because Kellogg's is a fascinating tale, but I digress. The story of this other breakfast cereal that you may know today, and how it has connections to a man who claimed that one could achieve immortality by doing things like never walking in a straight line. That is one of the most fascinating stories I've ever uncovered, and I really need to talk to somebody about it. So I imagine I'll want to talk to you. And I have so many others, so many stories that I don't have time to list here. So if all of that sounds like something you'd want to know more about, something you'd like to participate in, then I would encourage you to click subscribe, click like, so that YouTube's algorithm knows that this is content that you like, but also that maybe somebody else will like, and it will show to them. I know that right now, if you're watching this, you're probably one of my real friends, but I'm also thinking about my imaginary friends when I'm filming these videos. By imaginary friends, I mean the people that I've never met, who I can only envision right now, might potentially run across these videos and find them interesting. I'm hoping that some of those imaginary friends will find it worthwhile to continue to engage, continue to watch and subscribe and all of those good things, and that more people can be exposed to something I really do think is a valuable thing. I think that this could be really helpful to you. It could be helpful to you if you're an American, but also if you're not, because America has an outsized influence on the rest of the world and is influenced by the rest of the world. So those perspectives are good. I hope we can have conversations in our comments section. This can be a give and take. We can all learn things together. I'm telling you, I've learned so much from making the videos that I have made, doing the research for videos one that I'm about to film. I didn't know anything about this story really until I started diving into it, and it was fascinating. It was wonderful. I love learning about these things, and I hope that you will too. So, comment down below to let me know if you're one of my real friends or one of my imaginary friends. Not only will you encourage the algorithm if you like, subscribe, and make comments, you will also encourage me to know that I'm not here alone in this room talking to a camera for no reason at all. I have been sitting here talking to a camera like this for months on end without sharing these videos with people. But it's time to do that now, and so I know that I'm not talking to myself. Just let me know. Finally, some of my real friends have expressed a desire to support this effort financially. And if you are one of those people, or if you just feel generous today, right now, the only thing I can commit to sharing with you on Patreon as a sort of bonus is a monthly newsletter that I will send out. But if I continue on, I may find there are other things that I can share with you through that. We'll see what else might be possible in the future. So to both my real and imaginary friends, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious. You'll see me again soon. Probably. Bye. Coming soon on the Religistorian. Mormons at this time were radicals. The Civil War was really disruptive for people trying to start new things. But spelling is hard.